Thank you all for joining us for this info session today. So in just 1 second, I'm going to share my screen and walk through an informative PowerPoint about the Opportunity Challenge. After that's over, there's going to be plenty of time for questions and answers. So if you have any questions that arise while I'm presenting, please just put them in the chat and I'll answer them after I'm done presenting. Or you can just hold them until after the presentation, and then you can just ask them directly. So it's 2 o'clock, so without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go right into it. The Epicenter Logistics Opportunity Challenge. That's why we're all here today. So this is a program that is a partnership between Epicenter and Alchemist Accelerator. The goals of this program are to bring innovation to Memphis's logistics and supply chain industry in the form of paid pilots and enterprise contracts. We want to solve costly problems that are identified by our partner corporations. We also want to bring insights from industry experts to early-stage entrepreneurs to better align solutions with industry needs. It's basically a matchmaking program. We want to take the gigantic Memphis supply chain and logistics industry and connect them with entrepreneurs and technologists to the mutual benefit of each side. And this is a program where we are attempting to do that. So the history of this program thus far is Epicenter and our partners with Alchemist Accelerator worked with representatives from 5 logistics companies in Memphis to identify a list of 15 specific problems across 4 categories. Those 4 categories are traceability and visibility across the supply chain, automating customer interaction, real-time actionable insights into changing business conditions, and logistics data analysis and prediction. There are 15 specific problem statements that you can go to on our website. I'm not going to take the time to actually read through all of them while we're on this meeting, but please, we'll send out these slides to everyone who registered for this webinar after the fact, so you can go to that link and look at the specific detailed problem statements to see if you are solving any of them. So we started with 15 problem statements. Now we're looking for solutions to those problems. So this is a process that we're conducting to bring innovative solutions to the logistics industry, as I said. Here's how we're doing it, right? So we're currently in the process of getting applications. We have about 40 applications so far. We're still reviewing them. And I anticipate that we'll end up with at least 50 applications. From those 50, the 50 applications are being graded by Epicenter and also some supply chain industry experts. We're going to select up to 15 participants in the challenge. These 15 participants then will conduct some one-on-one sessions with supply chain experts as well as representatives from our industry partners who identified the specific problem that they're solving. Remember, we have specific problem statements on our website, and we're really looking for folks who are solving those specific industry problems. You'll get to have some one-on-one time with decision makers at companies who specifically said, hey, this is a big problem for me. From those 15 participants, we're going to choose up to 5 semifinalists. Each of those semifinalists will be awarded $5,000 in cash. And also on October 24th, there is going to be an in-person event in Memphis. So please mark that on your calendar. If you are chosen as a semifinalist, you will have to come to this event. Not have to, you'll get to, because at this event, you will have the opportunity to pitch your solution to a room full of representatives from the supply chain industry in Memphis. You will also have the opportunity to receive a $25,000 investment from Epicenter in an uncapped safe or at the terms of your most recent investment round. That is non-mandatory, but if you are interested in that, that is also one of the prizes that is available. After you've pitched your solutions to the industry representatives, Epicenter is going to continue to work with you and the companies if there's any interest there on structuring a pilot, if that's something that that assistance is required on. Basically, if you and the company need help to continue to work together, we want to provide that help. Also, for folks, if you are an idea stage or maybe your technology is not quite ready for customers yet, but you think that there would be a lot of value for you in this program, we still want you to apply. It's likely, obviously, that you won't be chosen as a semifinalist because our ultimate goal is to get contracts for our industry partners. But we also, see this as a ongoing, we're going to do this every year. So our hope is that if you have an idea or a prototype right now, that you'll apply to this program and get valuable one-on-one time with supply chain experts who will give you valuable feedback on your business and on your technology. And then next year, you'll be ready for customers and you'll fly through this process because of your all of the experience that you've had. So I just kind of talked through these phases, but we're going to go through them one by one. So first, people are applying. That's happening right now. Applications close September 13th. I should have put that on that slide. September 13th, that's when the applications close. Please apply by then. Up to 15 participants are chosen in phase one. They'll be interviewed by supply chain experts and Epicenter and evaluated based on their market readiness and alignment with one of the identified problems. After that, we're going to continue to conduct interviews with the EIRs and Epicenter, and you'll also get to meet with specific industry representatives who identify the problem that you are solving. Again, if you're not selected for phase two, you can continue meeting with Epicenter and our EIRs for feedback, advice, pilot readiness training, things like that. And we want you to reapply. The goal is that you would reapply the next year. Phase three is if you're selected as a semifinalist, you get a $5,000 cash prize and you're invited to pitch your solution to representatives from the logistics industry at Epicenter on October 24th. Again, if you have gone through phases 1 and 2 but aren't selected for this, we hope that we will continue to have a relationship and that you'll apply again next year and maybe go through the process. So there's a couple different actors in this program, and I'm just going to briefly talk about them. So one is the entrepreneurs. That's my hope. I hope that's most of you on this call. I suppose it's possible that it's not, but in my head, you guys are all potential applicants. This is open to entrepreneurs who already have a solution to one of the problems. You have a solution for a different customer base that could be adjusted to serve the logistics industry's needs. For example, let's say you have a company that is doing, I don't know, you're doing data science for the healthcare industry, but you think with a couple tweaks, you can do valuable data science for the supply chain industry. We want to be able to give you feedback on how to tweak your solution in that manner. And also, if you have a good idea on how you could solve one of the problems identified by the industry, we'd want you to apply. I should also say there is a category on the application for if you are not solving a problem that is one of the specific problem statements that we've identified, but that you believe is valuable to the logistics industry. Those will be considered. I think you'll be at some of a disadvantage because this is going to be driven by our industry partners ultimately, and it's not a problem that they surfaced. However, you never know. When you show someone your solution, they may think, oh my God, actually, I do need that. We need this person in this program. So even if you're not solving specifically one of the highlighted problem statements, I do still encourage you to apply. I've mentioned the supply chain experts and EIRs before. So basically, Epicenter's recruited multiple longtime industry professionals who will both evaluate the applicants from an industry perspective and advise applicants on how to position themselves for success when pitching their solution to potential customers. They're also helping review the applications. So if you're in, you'll be interviewed by the EIRs and get one-on-one feedback on your solution. And if your solution is not market ready, but we think that there's a ton of potential there, we're going to continue meeting with you if you're interested to help you bring it to market. These are our EIRs, Andrew, Casey, Alexander, Nick, and William. If you have applied to this program, myself and one of these EIRs will have reviewed your application. And then if you are accepted into the program, you will meet with at least one of these EIRs. This is a very accomplished group of supply chain experts with diverse experiences from brokerage to transportation to warehouse management and more. So across the board, we think this is a really strong group of industry experts who we're going to lean on to help us make this program a success. And then the last one is industry representatives. So like I said, we've started with these 15 problems. Each of those 15 problems was identified by a member of one of 5 supply chain companies who participated in the problem discovery process. If you're selected for phase 2, you'll be interviewed by the specific representative who identified the problem, and you'll get direct feedback on your solution. Companies present at the problem discovery process included the Armstrong Company, Truxio, Containerport, TruckPro, and Dunavant. So those are the folks who participated in the problem discovery process. And I should say that we are constantly doing outreach to the supply chain industry. And our belief is that when you are pitching your solution, there's going to be even more companies in attendance. However, I can tell you that at the very least, these 5 companies who participated in the problem discovery process are going to be present. So some dates, applications are currently opened. As I mentioned, September 13th, applications are going to close. We're going to actually start accepting some folks on a rolling basis this week. September 15th through 30th, we'll be conducting these one-on-one sessions with the industry representatives and the EIRs. October 1st, we're going to announce the semifinalists, and October 24th, there's going to be the pitch event at Epicenter Memphis. And I will stop there and stop sharing my screen, and I'll open it up for questions now. So let's see, did any questions come in the chat? Looks like no. So if you have any questions now, either go off mute and ask it, and hopefully everyone doesn't start talking at the same time, or put it in the chat and I'll answer it.
I got a question. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I missed out if you guys would intend to do interviews of founders as part of this process?
So you do not have to be the founder of the company. We do ask that there is we ask that there's a specific point of contact. It doesn't have to be the founder. We recognize that, the founders of the companies and CEOs are often very busy. So some of the applicants, right, it's a vice president of revenue, positions like that. But we do want there to be one person who's going to be the main contact so you can build the relationships with folks in the industry. Good question. Can we apply to multiple challenges? Yes, when you apply, you can select any number of the problem statements. If you're solving 4 or 5 of them, you can select all 4 or 5 of them as problems you are solving. That was one that came in the chat. At what point will applicants be notified of selection rejection? You will be notified by, let's see, let me look at my calendar to make sure I get the date right. Applications close on the 13th, which means that you will be notified no later than September 16th. That will be the very latest date that you will be notified. My goal is to notify folks ahead of time, but honestly, given the volume of applications that we've been receiving, which is great for me, it's likely that some folks won't hear until then. Okay.
The number of...
oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The number of companies that you're going to select is limited, and is that limited within a category or total?
So it's not limited within a category or within a problem statement. I don't think, realistically, I don't think that we would select, 15 applicants to the same problem. But ultimately, our goal is to pick the folks who we think are going to have the best chance to get a contract. So there may be it's not that we're only going to accept 1 per problem category. And honestly, our acceptances are mostly going to be driven by our industry partners, right? If they say, hey, we love these companies, we're going to accept them. If they say, hey, we hate these companies, we're going to tell them, sorry, there's not a market desire for you. So basically, we will accept multiple applicants per challenge statement if they're really good, and if there's interest there. Okay, I got a couple questions in the chat here. Zipeng Zhao asked, how mature should a solution be in order to be competitive? So I think to be competitive for the final prize, it has to be ready for customers. However, as I said during the presentation as well, if you are like in the process of building your solution and prototyping, we still want you to apply, because there's in phase 1 and phase 2, we want to build a relationship with you, give you access to industry experts, and help guide the creation of your solution in a way that is going to make it more broadly accepted by the industry, with the hope that next year when we do this program again, you apply and you're an amazing candidate. Zpeng says, if applications are reviewed on a rolling basis, then would it make sense to apply as soon as possible, even before the applications close? Yes, I would love that. I would love if you would do that because I'm reviewing them as they come in. So if you're listening to this call and you are considering applying, if you apply earlier, it'll just make my days a little bit easier. Fareed asked, is there a link to edit and resubmit an application? I'm sorry, there is not. But you are welcome to apply again and just send me an email notifying me that you did it, and I'll get rid of your earlier application and replace it with the new one. Harry asked, is this the first time you're launching this challenge? This is the first time that we are launching this challenge. So I can't answer your next question about how many companies have been accepted into previous programs and what benefits were rewarded. I will say again, our goal for this is to get pilots and enterprise level contracts between Memphis-based supply chain companies and innovative technology companies. That's what we're going for. That's our goal. All of the interviews and one-on-one meetings are basically just to try and get you on the best chance to get a contract with these folks. Okay, that was all the questions in the chat. We still have plenty of time, so if anyone has any other questions, or feel free to go off mute and ask me, or send something in the chat.
Yeah, hey, can you hear me well?
Yep.
This is Dr. Susana speaking. I'm one of the co-founders at iDial. I have already applied, and I'm just curious to understand. Thank you, by the way, for conducting this call. It's really informative, awesome. Let's say in a scenario, a company or startup goes through those stages, and what's the incentive for you guys behind it?
Oh, that's good question. So Epicenter is grant funded, and actually, thank you. I should have said this and included it in the slide deck. So this program specifically is funded by a grant that Epicenter has from the Minority Business Development Administration that manages, that's all about bringing technology to our local industry clusters. So our benefit to this is we're an economic development organization that gets grants. Basically, we believe that this is going to lead to positive economic development in Memphis, and we've received a grant to do this. So that's our benefit. So we're not going to be taking equity in the companies unless folks opt into the voluntary investment if they are chosen as a winner. Our upside for this is if it is successful and you get contracts with our industry partners.
Understand. Makes sense. Yeah, thank you. Just wanted to kind of.
Yeah, great question.
I'm looking for the link to apply.
Thank you. Sorry, it's on our website, if you RSVP'd to this, you will receive a copy of the slide deck afterwards, which has a direct link to the page on our website to apply.
And is that on like Epicenter Memphis website or?
Yep, epicentermemphis.org, and then under the programs tab, there's the Logistics Industry Opportunity Challenge, and then there's just a apply now button.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you say an equity investment, can you explain that? So are you saying that if you win with your solution, then whoever is going to take on your solution is going to have ownership with you in that solution? Is that what you mean when you say equity?
No, sorry. Great question. So at the event on October 24th, which is, not open to everyone, right? That'll be semifinalists selected by our industry partners. The supply chain industry representatives are just going to vote on a overall winner of the challenge, and that winner will have the option to accept a $25,000 investment from Epicenter in an uncapped safe or at the terms of your latest investment round. Not obligated to, but we just wanted to have, basically that's there to give some more buy-in from the partners and to get them to select someone. But no, you'll own your solution. The contracts and pilots will be between you and the customers. There's really just, that's an extra cherry on top for participating. If our local industry partners love your solution and they vote for you to win, then you have the opportunity for a small investment.
Okay, but that's only gonna go to one company, 25,000.
We actually have we've planned on up to 3 potential winners. It's really going to depend on our industry partners. Basically, we're going to let them decide who their favorites are.
Okay. Got you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a good question.
All right.
Okay. Peter or Pateri, I'm sorry, I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong, asked, how important is the pitch deck? Should we create it as a polished investor deck or make it complete and tell the story of the product solution? Great question. The pitch deck is pretty important. I mean, it's a big bulk of the application. Folks have submitted either investor decks or product specific decks. I think honestly, in the application review process, they are both acceptable because either one is going to give us an overview of your company and the solution. I would say if you're creating something like the reason we put a pitch deck is we wanted to make it easy for folks to apply. And if you have a ready to go investor deck and you upload it, that's definitely enough information for us. However, if you're making something from scratch for this, it's probably going to benefit you to make it more about the product that you have, the solution that you have, just because that's the lens through which we're viewing this. And then that kind of answers Zipeng's question as well. Do you have any best practices? I would say, keep it focused on the solution, right? Ultimately, the main folks reviewing this application are industry experts. They're not startup experts. They're not investors. And they're really looking at like, is this a technology that I would want at my company? So the more you can highlight the capabilities of your solution, that's going to be better. Yes, I will put my email in the chat. It's just nate@epicentermemphis.org. I should also say this meeting is going to be it's being recorded, and we're going to upload it to YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it later or share it with folks who you think might be interested. Would industry existing client references be helpful for the pitch deck? Definitely. I mean, we always like to know, who you've worked with, any customers you have, and especially that signals kind of the readiness of your application as well, right? If you have 5 customers, then you're ready for customers, obviously. So yeah, feel free to list any existing client references you have. Any other questions? Clients in adjacent industries would work as examples, not just straight. Yeah, yes, it definitely. What we're really looking at is the solution applicable to the supply chain industry. It doesn't mean that your solution can only be for the supply chain industry as long as it is applicable and relevant to the supply chain industry. So great question. Would I accept an executive overview in lieu of a pitch deck? I would. Yep. As the main thing is to just like think about, are we going to be able to understand the value of your solution in the thing that you upload? If you think that your executive overview gets that across, then yeah, that's certainly enough. Certainly enough for us to review. Okay, any other questions? I'll wait a couple more minutes to see if anything else trickles in.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi, go ahead.
We have already applied for the program, and there are a few things that happened recently. So I think that we may add certain things up to the email and basically provide more information and more resources to basically to back up the application and provide more backup data. And what would be the best way to do it? Is it just to send you an email?
Yeah,
with all
just
the
send an email to nate@epicentermemphis.org. I'm glad to hear that. I can't wait to see what the updates are. And that's a great question. I'll just echo that for everyone. Like if you've already applied and then since then have had a really big development at your company that you'd like us to know about, just email it to me. And I'll make sure that the information gets to the right people.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions? Every time, right when I think no one's going to ask any more questions, someone comes in. Yashis, are you about to ask one?
Hi, and so you said that for companies that are still in the ideation stage, there's still an opportunity to have at least go through phase 1 and phase 2, where you can have one-on-ones with customers. If you could elaborate on that process and maybe provide a little bit more information, if possible.
Yeah, definitely. So part of our goal is to build a pipeline, right? We're receiving a fair amount of applications from folks who are in the idea stage or prototyping stage and not quite ready for customers. But one of our beliefs as an organization is that, you know, you make better companies when you expose them to insights from industry experts at an early stage. So for example, you know, Yashis, if you apply, if you're accepted as a participant, one, you'll get to go through these one-on-one time with these EIRs who have this expertise, as well as industry representatives, and you'll ask them, right? Like, hey, you know, is this, you know, I don't remember enough about your specific company to come up with a good example question, right? But ask them questions about like how to communicate your value well, how to, you know, fit into existing workflows, things like that, right? That's the idea that we're trying to get across there. And then also, you know, following the October event, if you're not selected as a semifinalist, which if your product isn't ready for customers yet, it probably won't be, you'll have you can opt into this like quarterly check-in, basically. I have not like formally turned this into a sketched out program yet, but basically you'd meet quarterly with one or more of our industry experts. Who they've got various skill sets and experience. So we try to match you up with someone whose skill set is relevant to yours. And they would be basically a mentor for you who could be a voice of the industry for you, as well as check-in meetings with me or other Epicenter staff, who can provide either, you know, pitch deck feedback, business plan feedback, sort of, you know, classic accelerator incubator services, as well as just, you know, checking in on how things are. So that's a not very sexy sounding, but I think actually pretty impactful option as well. And again, the idea would be that we are providing you this feedback so that when we do this challenge again next year, and your product is ready for customers, it's going to be really great because you've gotten all this industry feedback and you know the customer you're selling to.
So again, you kind of answered my question, but I'm going to reframe it again, or rephrase it again.
Mm-hmm.
It is encouraged to build relations with the EIR.
Yes.
During the program. Okay.
Definitely. Yes. We want you to do that, and we're paying them to do that. So.
Perfect. Thank you, Nate.
No problem. Great. Any other questions? Y'all have had some really great questions. I got to say, we did another info session a couple weeks ago, and I think that the questions today have been better. So great job, everybody. Insightful questions. Okay, I'm just gonna wait a couple more minutes. Chime in if you've got something you want to ask me. And you know, if something pops into your head later, email me. I'll answer. It's, you know, my goal is to be very available and helpful as part of this process. I'm sorry, can you say that again?
I think you just forgot to put on mute.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, well, people are starting to leave and I haven't had any questions in a couple minutes, so I'm going to end this meeting now. Thanks everyone for being here. Again, if you RSVP'd, which I assume you did, because otherwise, how did you end up here? You'll get a copy of the slide deck that was used earlier, including the link to the website, and we will have the recording of this uploaded to YouTube. I'm not exactly sure how we'll share that yet. We'll definitely email it to the registrants, but we may like post it on our social media or something as well. So thank you guys again. If you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to email me, Nate@epicentermemphis.org, and looking forward to reviewing some of your applications later today. All right. Thanks, guys. I'm going to end the meeting now. Bye.